Good evening, friends, and welcome to yet another very interesting session with Suresh Kochattil ji. Welcome, Suresh ji.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, you saw the movie Dhurandhar, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it covered a lot of topics like the Delaru scam, the Parliament attack, the 26/11 attack. So, can you tell us now how is this movie like? What was your opinion of this film?
Well, I liked it a lot because I could relate to a lot of things in it. But today's generation will have to do a bit of reading up. In fact, that's what I wrote my review on Facebook. They will have to read up something on IC814. They will have to read up something on Ajit Doval, who many don't know is a Kerala cadre officer of the IPS. He is from Garhwal, he's from the north, but his cadre was Kerala. But he worked only very short time there. And one of his famous cases were where he arrested Pinarayi Vijayan, then a lowly level worker of CPM, and locked him up in a police station in Kannur for a riot that he and his party were causing. Anyway, what I liked about it is what their real life characters. We read about them every day. Raman the Kite, the role that Sanjay Dutt portrayed of Aslam, SP Aslam. Everyone you could relate to. But what I liked about that was certain dialogues in those movies, where they say that the enemy of Indians are Indians. And you see that today. I mean, you see that even in case of whenever there is, Arundhati Roy saying the parliament attack never happened. It was only a conspiracy done by Modi government. All these ridiculous things, they bring forth all on this. And we feel that the enemies of Indians are Indians themselves. But it is a lovely movie, very well made. 3 hours and 30 minutes just goes like that. Lots of violence, which is expected, but it is not forced on violence. It was violence which had to happen because that was what the character demanded from that point in time. Waiting for a sequel in March. But my main point is the movie actually brought out some things which the Indian movie makers are uncomfortable about, because we have an Indian spy usually tying up with a Pakistani ISI agent to destroy an Indian agent. And that's what all the movies are all about. And usually the Pakistani ISI agent is a female wearing a bikini and walking around. They are yet to come out of their burqas, we know for sure. But in Indian movies, they always wear a bikini. And I mean, Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, all look kiddish compared to the roles that were portrayed in this movie by Ranveer Singh or Akshay Khanna, Rakesh Bedi and others. Coming to the Delaru case, I tweeted about it the same night after I saw the movie, after I wrote the review. And I said the father-son duo is very clear who it was. Everyone knows Arvind Mayaram's role in it. And I tweeted about it. You won't believe the same night around 1:20, I had slept off by then. Next day morning, I noticed a message on my Facebook Messenger from Karthi Chidambaram saying, "Congratulations on your WhatsApp university knowledge." And I shared a screenshot of that on my Twitter as well as on my Facebook. Karthi comes to my Facebook Messenger and messages me. And he had done it before also. And an earlier time when he did it, I suggested that he should get his eyes checked up at Vasan Eye Care, because that's where he and his father made billions again. Why was he feeling guilty? It was very obvious in the movie when one of the intelligence officers tells Ajit Doval, played by Madhavan brilliantly again, that there was this currency note happening in Pakistan in being printed, especially the 500 notes, and they were being liberally distributed through Nepal via Qatar. And that part of it hit everybody because not many people were aware of that. And I knew it because I questioned this Karthi on this before also. And that time also he reacted pretty violently against me. And I kept it at that and asked him, can you say for sure that you have not done it? He cannot, because he and his father have done it. We all know that the entire machine, which was supposed to be dismantled and sold from the Nashik security printing press, was sold en lot as a block. And that was used by Pakistan. I mean, Jaydev, think of it. After this entire thing, why did Modi ji do a demonetization? Now you connect the dots back. You realize it's that 500 rupee notes with that particular security thread which had to be got rid of. And you won't believe that the person who was printing these notes, enacted by Rakesh Bedi, I forget his name, he committed suicide the third day after demonetization was introduced. Because he was stuck literally with billions of 500 rupee notes which are worthless. And now you connect and say, why did Modi ji do demonetization? Rahul Gandhi found that A lot of people died standing in a line. He will not talk about the main guy who was printing these notes on behalf of ISI in Pakistan committing suicide on the day this happened. And that is what the main thing is. Stone throwing stopped in Jammu and Kashmir within days of the 500 rupee note being demonetized. Why? Question. And who had this role? And again, here I fault the Modi government. Why is Chidambaram allowed to get away with all this? We won't know what he did with the Mauritius route with FDI. We know what his son did sitting in Singapore, fiddling the Indian rupee with the help of RBI, playing the futures and options. We know all this. Why is it that the Modi government is not acting on very, very kind of information available on a platter to pull up Chidambaram, put him in jail? Because I even now address him on Twitter as Tihar Chidambaram, because I think that's where he should be. Because he cheated this country, not once, twice. 2611, he made admission in Parliament on December 9th, I think, so if I'm not wrong. It is there in RVS Mani's book, quoted in parliamentary records, to say that the Indian government knew that the boat was leaving the Pakistani waters with terrorists on board, yet they allowed the boat to go. And in this movie also there's a mention of that our intelligence was not acted upon. And you connect all these things, Jaydev, there was a huge conspiracy during the Congress rule. And it is a golden opportunity for Modi government to go after these characters, put them in jail. But for some reason, neither Amit Shah ji nor Modi ji is doing it. Maybe they have the reasons. There's not enough proof or whatever it is. But if you put Chidambaram under the ringer, his son especially, for the billions they have made, selling cauliflower made on the terrace, and this is what it is all about. This movie really opens up a can of worms. It shows what a spy goes through, what a RAW agent goes through. And remember the traitor, biggest traitor of them all, Hamid Ansari. He was the one who blew the cover of numerous RAW operatives in the Middle East, all of whom were killed by the respective governments there. And that gentleman was made the vice president by Sonia Gandhi as a reward for doing that. Now put it all together. The note printing in Karachi, the terrorists allowed to get away on a boat, and all these things put together, it is very, very clear, Jaydev, that the Congress was involved in the conspiracy of 2611. It was a fixed match between the ISI and Pakistan and the Indian National Congress. And for sure, we need to know a lot more things. But the Modi government, unfortunately, I don't know, for whatever reason, as I repeat before, is not doing anything about it. We need to nail the culprits. And I think Dhurandhar as a movie has really shaken it up all up. There are a lot of people who are uncomfortable in Pakistan, but there are a lot more uncomfortable in India. And as Ajit Doval says in the movie, the biggest problem for India, or the biggest terrorist or whatever terrorist supporters for India, or the biggest problem for India is Indians, Hindustani. Pakistan comes next. That is the problem. We have so many doubting Thomases here in India. We have so many supporters of Pakistan, ISI in India. We have so many sympathizers there sitting in India that Pakistan looks like a kind of a small player in this entire thing. We need to nail them all one by one. But that requires a huge amount of effort. And as we saw in the massacre in Australia, terror has no religion. At least that is what we are told. And we know what happened now in Australia. The Australian government has also finally woken up to realize that terror does have a religion.